What is going on, everyone? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. The day that follows is Christmas Day. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope you guys are all having a great start or are ready to have a great start to the week. I do want to remind you that tomorrow, in observance to Christmas Eve, the market is going to close early. And then when it comes down to Christmas Day, the market will not be open. So you get like a day and a half off, right? I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas and just happy holidays and are spending it with those that you love. But for the next 30 minutes, I plan to pretty much like we do every single week for our Sunday stock talks, talk about the top stocks that our team sees value in. So I want to say what's up to everybody. So if you guys want to kind of like say hello. If this is your first time tuning in, I really do appreciate you. We have the largest free Facebook group for those who invest in the stock market. Be sure to click one of the links down below that will take you on over to our free Facebook group so we stay connected and you can join our free group chat and stuff like that. I also want to let you guys know. So I first want to say what's up to everyone. So what's going on, Jordan? What's going on, Tom? What's going on, Don? What's going on, Sid, Omar, Humberto, Eric, Fuzzy Wuzzy, Nick, Yazir, Michael, Mark, Tech, Edmund. What's going on, guys? What's going on, team? Here we go. What's going on there, Small? Gustavo, where are we at? There we go. Dell, Wolf. What's up? What's up? Hope you guys are all having a great start, or hope you guys are all just having an amazing Sunday. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys can do me the biggest favor and give the video a thumbs up, it really helps us out. If not, it's 100% okay. I also do want to let you guys know that before we start our Sunday stock talk, this is pretty much for everyone that's tuning in live. If you guys did not know, and again, this is no strings attached. There's just different actions that you have to complete to win this giveaway. You don't have to buy anything, nothing like that whatsoever. And we're going to be flying out one lucky member within for a 2-day period, 2-day stay here in Arizona. You're going to be hanging out with me and the TechBuds team, showing you kind of like how I invest in the stock market, and not just the stock market, but like you guys know, I invest in multiple different markets, answering any questions that you guys might have, kind of showing you kind of like our lifestyle, but on top of that, our work ethic and the long hours that we work. So yes, it's going to be fun while you're here, as we always have fun with everything that is that we do. But most importantly, we're going to show you the work that we put in on the day-to-day basis that allows us to live, a very blessed life, right? So again, if you guys want to be flown out, again, I pay for, I'm going to do it as all expenses paid. Be sure to click that first link in the description. And that's, I think that's all. You have to sign up for like our free live trading. It's free. And then it will bring you on over to like a secondary page where you just have to complete a series of actions, like following me on Instagram, joining our free Facebook group, and yeah, like very, very simple actions. And you end up increasing your chances of winning the giveaway. That's all. You don't have to buy anything or anything like that. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, no fly. I'm in Glendale. Okay, so if you end up winning, I guess we can use that money for something else within the day. But altogether, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing who ends up winning. And it's called the 7 Days of Christmas. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start sharing my full screen just so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. Be sure to stay tuned to the very end of the video for a nice little promo, right? But let's go ahead and move this on over. Let me move this over here. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. There we go. Can you guys see that okay? Are we all good? Alrighty. So $600 in the first week after learning from Ricky. Super happy to hear that. Again, it's all your, I really do appreciate like the thanks and stuff like that, but it's all your hard work that's paying off. I'm kind of just here answering your questions, and you're the one that's taking action. So really do appreciate you being an active member of our team. So let's go ahead and just get right to it. I hope I didn't take too much of your guys' time. Let's go ahead and just start breaking down the stocks that you guys see value in. Again, it needs to be in that ticker call out format and go from there. So what's going on, Russell? Take it easy, man. Happy Sunday. Is this the live chat? Yes, it is. Here we go. Alrighty, let's start. So let me free this up. So I'm going to close this out here. Sunday stock talk. I'm going to open this up and I apologize. Here we go. All right. So ticker symbol BILLI. Here we go. So all the tickers that we break down will be right on over here. So again, none of those stocks that we talk about in any way are any stock suggestions. You should never trade based off other people's opinion. You should always have a plan when investing, and you should also understand that due to current market conditions, the market has been pretty volatile, right? We've seen a very aggressive sell-off within the past couple of weeks. Just something that you need to be aware of. Make sure that if you don't feel extremely comfortable with the position that you're about to take, one of the best things that you can do is not taking one at all. One of the things that we like to encourage our newer traders to do is to start paper trading or simulation trading, which allows you to trade with fake money. Be sure to write that down. Be sure to Google it or YouTube it, and there's videos that will show you on how to get started on that. So this is ticker symbol BILLI. You can see that the overall SMA line, so this is a 180-day 4-hour chart. You can see that it's been showing signs of a pretty consistent uptrend pattern. How do I see this, or how do I know that? We could see that every time that it pulls back, it doesn't go as low as it was before, and every time that it pushes up, it has a very consistent pattern of continuously making higher highs. So why is that important? Well, if this pattern that it's had continues, right? It doesn't mean that it has to, but if it continues for ticker symbol BILLI, it means that it's selling off. So it's in that good deal range. So we could see that with the RSI, we could see that with the MACD, we could see that based off of previous patterns. Now all we need to wait for is confirmation that, again, if you want to invest in something and grow your account, you want to invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. So I think that it makes sense based on the pattern that BILLI has to offer yes, it's in that good deal territory, but now we just want to give it that time to ensure that it's going to follow through with the pattern that it's offered before and just wait for that confirmation. So I like this one. I'm going to set my alert for the break above 14. I'm also going to set my alert for the break below 13, as just as much as it could go up, it could go down as well. So again, every time that you plan out your trades for the week, make sure that you don't always just plan out only how much money you can make, but also manage your risk, how much money you could potentially lose, and make sure that psychologically you see it so it's planned, right? So if it gets to that point, you'll be quick to cut losses and you won't bag hold. One of the biggest mistakes that newer traders make. Alrighty, here we go. What's going on, Joe? What's up? REGI. So next one, REGI. Here we go. Okay, so again, due to overall market volatility and conditions, I would not feel comfortable investing in REGI. Why, looking at the pattern that REGI has to offer, why would I not feel comfortable doing that? What's going on, Helen? What's up? So REGI, what about this pattern on REGI would show some form of signs of not being consistent enough? What about it? Again, if we want to grow our accounts, we want to invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. So yes, REGI is at a lower price point than what it's been at before, but it's also downtrending, just like everyone else is saying, right? It's selling off, it's getting rejected by this, EMA indicator, so it continues to make lower lows and lower highs. And what do we not know about REGI? When it's going to stop selling off, when it's going to stop making lower lows. So what can we do to plan for a successful trade? We need this lower low and lower high and rejected by the EMA pattern to no longer be relevant. So we need this pattern, these candles, to break above this EMA line and for there to be a change of direction. When this thing was showing signs of it being healthy and showing signs of an uptrend, a question that you always want to ask yourself is, when did someone make money investing in REGI? When is it easy to see that someone made money? Here, right? It's very easy. Again, if you want to grow your account, invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. Again, I'm going to repeat that multiple times until it just annoys you. It's consistently making higher highs and higher lows. It's showing signs of an uptrend. It's above the EMA line. It's just a very consistent uptrend pattern. So it was very easy to make money here, right? Because of the pattern, the direction, and the understanding of the opportunity cost that, hey, this thing's still showing signs of an uptrend. So what is it then that we need to wait for? Confirmation that it can do this again. So we need to see signs of higher highs, higher lows, an uptrend above the EMA line, and that reassurance that, hey, I'm investing in something that's showing signs of growth and not trying to buy the dip on something and then writing it down even further, because we don't know where it's going to stop. But all we can plan for is set our alerts, follow up with it, and when it does confirm that uptrend pattern, then guess what? We can reanalyze it and see if it's a trade that is worth taking. Also, it's being rejected by the SMA line. As we've seen before, the SMA line used to act as a support, meaning that this green line, when this would sell off, it would bounce around this green line. But now, because it used to be a support, now it's a resistance as it's now below this green line. So now it's going to be acting more as a resistance, something that a lot of you guys are already familiar with, that old support levels can become new resistance levels and vice versa. So, yep, I agree. But I still owe you guys a Sunday stock talk every Sunday. So that was my commitment to TechBuds and to our followers within YouTube and Learn Plan Profit. So Jack is TNDM. So TNDM, here we go. So TNDM, very similar pattern to REGI, as it used to show signs of an uptrend. It was very consistent, began to kind of flatline and then began to sell off. Right? So now it's making lower lows, lower highs. It's getting rejected by this SMA line. The thing that I really just like to ask myself is understand the direction, understand kind of like the characteristic of the specific stock that you're about to invest in. Understand the flow and the way that it moves. As right now, yes, it's selling off and it's at a lower price point where it can begin to reverse up. There's a risk when investing in patterns that are showing signs of a downtrend, right? So you could try to buy the dip with the understanding that, it might still continue to sell off. So that's a risk that you have to accept if you plan on doing that. So I'm just not a huge fan of this as of right now. It's not consistent enough. I haven't been trading it, or I have not been trading it recently. So I would have to spend a little bit more time analyzing it. So as of right now, I'll set my alert for the break above the EMA line just so I can simply stay up to date. But I'm also going to set an alert for the break below 30, as if it continues to sell off, I think it'd be nice to just stay up to date. So yeah, let's go ahead and go from there. Yeah, so reset. One of the things that one of the things he's asking is within the past like 1 to 2 months, I've been solely focusing on UGAS and DGAS. I talked about it. The patterns have been pretty consistent. They're very easy for me to understand. I work really well with them. And again, why overcomplicate it? If something's my bread and butter and it's working well for me and it's the season for natural gas due to overall winter conditions, then why not take advantage of those opportunities? And then when that opportunity or it's just no longer there, then guess what? I don't have to trade it anymore. And I can move to something that maybe is a little bit more consistent during the spring and then maybe during the summer and then again back during the winter or fall and then winter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, I just like to focus on consistency and making sure that I understand every position that I take. And I have found it to be so much more like stress-free to not have to worry about what I'm going to be trading next week because I know that I have like something to fall back on because it's like my, again, bread and butter. So yeah. So this is a good question. How far back should one look to define a support? Again, it's just until you can see a pattern. That's the biggest thing. So understand, like, if you are trying to identify, so at least for the technical style of investing, again, that's my style. It doesn't mean that it's a specific niche that you have to work really well with. There's people that do fundamental analysis and they do really well with that. I will look as far back as I need to identify a pattern. Sometimes it could be the 1 day, 1 minute. If I'm going to go for a day trade, 5 day, 5 minute, 15 day, 5 minute, 20 day, 1 hour, 180 day, 4 hour, 3 year, 1 week, right? It doesn't matter. It only like what matters is what makes the most sense to you. So if something's consistent and something is just clear of what the pattern has to offer, then again, it doesn't matter what time frame. You explore all the options until it makes sense to you. All right, here we go. Ticker symbol YINN. What's going on, Rodix 715? Here we go. Okay, so overall, very consistent downtrend pattern. Just not something that I would feel comfortable investing in. Yes, it's a little bit on the oversold side. The MACD is pending for a reversal, and yes, the RSI is, oversold, but it really doesn't matter much as of right now because, it's still selling off. So again, when would it make sense? When the direction changes. So we can set an alert for the break above 18 and kind of follow up with it from there. So thank you again for the call out though. All right, here we go. What's going on, Zach? NFEC. Here we go. So this one looks a little bit more like a pump and up. Again, I don't know what this company is. It looks like it offered a very consistent uptrend pattern, maybe went through some form of news that drove the price up, acted as a huge catalyst, became extremely overbought. The MACD became very overextended. It pulled back. Now it's trying to bounce around the SMA line again. Again, if the rally continues into the pattern within the day, so on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, if the pattern is there for you and you see value in it, great, all power to you. The volume is way too low for me. I personally would not trade something like this. I normally trade with about $10,000 to $30,000 per position, and it's just not something that I would be willing to risk. The risk / reward is too high for me, right? It's too risky. It's just not my style, and that's okay. If it's your style and you're willing to risk it, all power to you. Again, do I understand why it's going through that huge catalyst that drove the price up? No, I don't understand it, so that's why I'm not going to trade it. You shouldn't how is it that you say that? You just don't stress yourself out about what is doing good if you don't understand why it's doing good. Again, there has to be a reason for everything that is that you do. And if you don't understand that reason or that catalyst, then maybe you should take a step back and just reanalyze and make sure that, again, you don't just take a position based off of the hype or the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, but you did your due diligence to understand the growth and the catalyst, and that moving forward that you still can actually make money and you're confident and comfortable with your trade. Again, the reassurance. So I'm not going to set alerts on this because I would never trade something like this. But thank you again for the call out, and I hope it works out well for you. If you see value in it, right? ERIC. What is going on, Javier? Here we go. So Eric, ERIC, showing signs of a very consistent uptrend pattern. It looks like it kind of peaked out when it hit highs of $9.50. It sold off, bounced at right around that $8 low, $8 price point, and then pushed right back up to $9.25 and then got rejected. So it used to make higher highs, and then it began to flatline as it's been struggling to hold above $9. Something to take into consideration. So it's saying that anything above $9 maybe is not the best buy, right? So right now, based off previous patterns, it's approaching near that $8, the low $8 price point. So it makes sense on why it can bounce here. It doesn't mean that it has to. It closed at right around 820. Again, we can set our alerts for the overall reversal, but just as much as it could go up, it could go down as well. So we'll also set our alert if this thing begins to sell off. I like the RSI on this. I like the kind of MACD, but it sold off very aggressively on Friday. So just be very careful about that. Also looks like the volume is very low, and it was trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, which is an obvious signs of a downtrend. Again, if you don't know how to use the VWAP indicator, if you're part of the Learn, Plan, Profit course, I have a in-depth video that explains to you exactly. That's one of the main indicators that I use for day trading that works really well for me to identify the direction of what it is that I'm investing in. So ERIC has been selling off very aggressively. Again, just don't overdo it. Will the market continue to crash with government shutdown? Again, I'm not worried about overall market conditions. I do very well within the niche of what it is that I'm investing in as right now. I don't have any long-term, portfolio investments. My long-term investments are my properties, right? So again, I understood. I was holding positions. People always ask me, especially now, why don't I swing trade anymore? As I used to be known to mainly swing trade, which means holding a position for more than just 1 day. Is I started to lose money when the patterns became less consistent because there was more aggressive sell-offs, and because of that, I didn't feel comfortable nor confident swing trading. So what did I do? Began to day trade a little bit more aggressively than before, and it's worked really well for me, right? So that is exactly why I am doing what it is that I'm doing. So, if you want to dig a little bit more and want to understand overall market conditions, great. Again, you're not going to find a exact answer on what's going to happen in the market. All you can do is try to become as well educated and well versed in the market. Be prepared, be smart, be selective, and make sure that you take advantage of good deals. Because again, good deals still outweigh overall pullbacks as it could correct itself. So, all right, here we go. WYNN. Oh, we already did that. Wrote it. Here we go. Let's see. TGODF. All right, very low volume, not something that I would personally invest in. Very aggressive descending pattern. Again, I don't want to spend too much time breaking these specific stocks down. It's just, again, aggressively selling off, no consistent pattern as of right now. We can set our alert for the break above $2, maybe if it breaks above the EMA line and begins to make higher highs, but as of now, just doesn't make too much sense. Here we go, ticker symbol CRMD. So CRMD, let's check this one out. So $1 stock, so it's pretty low cap stock, consistent uptrend. It looks like it does go through some form of like positive catalysts that drive the price up. Be aware of that, because just as much as it goes up, it could go down. Looks like it recently broke below the SMA line, and the SMA line is no longer pointing up. It's starting to actually point down a little bit. So something that you want to be careful about, as its direction might begin to change, where it's not going to make higher highs anymore. It might begin to make lower lows. Let's look a little bit further into this. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's pulling back a little bit, and it tends to do that quite often. So there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you have to be a little bit more selective with your entry, which means more patience, right? So if you struggle with that, then again, set your alerts and don't look at it until your alerts are triggered, as it just would not make sense to try to buy or find the bottom where there's no proper indication that it won't still continue to sell off. So yeah, again, just a friendly reminder, Ishmael continues to remind all of you guys that if you want a stock to be called out and broken down, it needs to be in the ticker call out format. If you just post the ticker symbol, I will not break it down and you'll be removed from the chat. So, and I use the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform for the very FAQ that I keep getting. All right, here we go. Ticker symbol AMD. Here we go. AMD aggressively selling off, no signs of an uptrend just yet. We could see that based off previous patterns. It had a support right around this $16 price point. With overall market conditions, I really don't care about old support levels. Again, I'm trying to play as conservative as possible. So let's talk about, again, I like to ask myself like whatever it is that I'm trying to identify. So you're saying that you want to invest in AMD. What I would ask myself is, okay, what are some reasons that I would not want to invest in AMD? It's a downtrend pattern. It's getting rejected by the EMA line. It's making lower lows. The market is selling off, and that's directly influence, that can be a direct influence to the overall performance of AMD. So again, it's selling off, no signs of an uptrend, and no confirmation just yet. So I can set my alerts, I can follow up with it, and what is it that I need to do? Well, when it was showing signs of growth, what is it that it did? Look at previous patterns and see what you need AMD to do to kind of like replicate that. And then look at recent patterns and conditions to try to see what can act as positive and negative catalysts to drive the price up and down, the different factors, the different reasons. And with that, you're going to become a little bit more confident and comfortable with the position that you're about to take, if you choose to take it, right? So what is going on, my guy Frank? SQs. Let's do it. Here we go. Here we go. So SQ, again, for those that are not familiar with this, SQs pushes up. So SQQQ pushes up when overall NASDAQ sells off. So market has been selling off, meaning that SQQQ, just like we talked about last week, has been pushing up. We talked about the resistance that it had last week, right around this $16 price point based off of previous patterns. As you can see all right here, guess what? The market is still selling off, so that means that it could still continue to push up, and you don't want to trade against its pattern. It is extremely overbought and extremely overextended. That might be a reason on why you might not want to swing trade it. But intraday, again, I've kind of just been going with the flow. If I see that SQs is pushing up and the overall market continues to pull back, then again, I feel comfortable holding it. The inverse ETF, so if SQs begins to sell off and correct itself back to this EMA line, its inverse ETF is TQs. So it's the same thing with the but with a T in front of it. Also, if you wanted to correlate in future, believe it's /NQ. So yeah, let's check out recent patterns. As of right now, this is how it performed on Friday. And as of right now, during extended hours, this can give us a better understanding of what we could expect tomorrow. It looks like it's kind of flatlining, consolidating, no longer making lower lows. We could set our alerts and see if it follows. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, then guess what? We don't have to follow up with it. So, all right. I've already broken this one down, bud. DRYS. All right, here we go. Okay. We're going to do one more after DRYS, and then I'm going to call it a day. And then I just have some news for you guys, and then that's pretty much it. So DRYS, based off previous patterns, we could see that there's been kind of like a resistance. So it becomes a little bit more overbought right? When it breaks above $6, it becomes a little bit more oversold. When it breaks below the SMA line, again, I don't like these specific stocks. DRYS is a very infamous pump and dump. So just something that you guys have to be aware of. I would never trade this. The pattern's not consistent enough, and the volatility is a little bit too high that, again, you have to risk it to, get the biscuit. I just think it would be too much risking and not enough biscuit for DRYS. Again, just asking yourself, is this something that you really see value in, that you want to take advantage of? And if so, great. And if not, then guess what? One of the best things that you can do is not take a position that is going to discourage you and not benefit your future. And again, you're the only person that can decide what you choose to invest your hard-earned money. So just make sure that every move that you make is kind of just that there's a reason behind it, right? That's premeditated. So yeah, I really do appreciate this breakdown. So I learn so much from you every day. Thank you. Dude, super pumped. I'm really happy and really thankful that you see value in our live streams and our videos. I do see that you do tune in pretty often. Again, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, you'll be able to see me trade live at market open tomorrow. On top of that, even if you're not, or if you are part of LPP, one of the things that I do want to remind you guys, again, is that giveaway. I would love to spend the day with you guys and for you guys just to pick at my brain and for me to ask you questions as well and just hang out. So yeah. Okay, sweet. All right, perfect. Yeah, your name looks really familiar, but I just wanted to make sure. Or your username, right? But yeah, altogether, I'm just extremely thankful that we have so many of you guys that tune into our live streams and are so consistent with everything that is that you guys do. I think it just really, makes it very clear, how dedicated you guys are in wanting to become successful, and just know that it does take time, but with consistency and being able to learn from your mistakes, I think is one of the biggest takeaways in my experience. On top of that, I really hope that I can inspire you to not only just invest in the stock market, but to pursue your passion in whatever market or niche that might be. And I just hope that it could guide you in the right direction. So let's go ahead and do one more breakdown, and then we'll go ahead and close out the Sunday stock talk. So Javier, we already did ticker symbol ERIC. Thank you again, Frank. So let's do this one. So Wonderlust, it's going to be APPL. So APPL, here we go. No more callouts if that's okay. So I think you meant AAPL, right? Yeah. So Apple, right? Apple, Facebook, Amazon, they've all been aggressively selling off. You could see the direction really change. So Apple was very consistent. It was showing signs of an uptrend pattern, broke above the SMA line, right? Making higher highs, all that good stuff. And then guess what happened? The SMA line is an indicator that I really like to look at when looking at trying to understand direction. And we could see that it consolidated and then it began to sell off, and it has not changed that direction. So again, it's still selling off. Yes, it might be a really good deal, but we don't know if it's going to continue to sell off. So what can we do? Set our alerts, follow up with it, and make sure that we keep a close eye on it for a change of direction or a change of pattern. Alrighty. And I see a couple of you guys still have questions about stocks that you guys want me to break down. If you guys can do me the biggest favor, just be sure to, if you're part of TechBot Solutions and the Discord chat within that, that's free. Be sure to go in the, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's called the watch list. Post your ticker in the ticker call out format. It has to be posted in the ticker call out format. Tag me, and then I'll send you a direct message. If you're part of Learn Plan Profit, it's called the group alerts. Post it there, tag me, and then I'll follow up with a message. That's pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day. And that's really just it. So I did want to talk about just one that I've been trading very often, right? That I see value in. One of the things that I want to talk about is /NG. Not too sure if you guys have been seeing, but it's been doing a lot of consolidation right around 360 to 380. It kind of built this little margin. So it was pushing up. It peaked out right during the winter months due to the news and the forecast of weather and how cold it was going to be. It sold off. It corrected itself. I think it grew a little bit too quick for its own good. And now one of the things that we're seeing is the consolidation, which is something that we normally see before it begins to push up. On top of that, on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, you could see that based on where it closed on Friday and where if the pattern holds around this general area right here, so right around 380 of where it's at, so 380, based on previous patterns, right? Looking at how it was on Friday, if we go to ticker symbol UGAS, that means that UGAS should be opening right around the $87 to $89 area. So for those that held, again, from $80 all the way up to $87, that's a decent push up. But again, it depends on how natural gas holds. And to see if it actually ends up holding. But yeah, just wanted to share my input on for those that care about it. But yeah, I hope I earned your guys' thumbs up. I hope that I can fly one of you guys out for the TechBuds 7 Days of Christmas giveaway. And that's really just it. So again, if you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, just because you have watched me for almost now exactly 30 minutes, it's 29 minutes and 38 seconds as of right now, I want to give you a discount off the Learn Plan Profit course. So if you want to sign up today, we'll do it for the first 15 people. You guys could use promo code 30OFF at checkout for the Learn Plan Profit course, and that will get you $30 off the course. Simple as that. You'll watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow. You'll have access to the course for a lifetime. You could direct message me every single day and just pick at my brain, and we can work on a much closer basis. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be your drive to your success. Hope I earned your thumbs up. Hope you guys absolutely kill it this week. Really looking forward to working with you guys on a much closer basis. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note.